because it's been linked to my personal phone, and I don't want that.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like, yeah, this is maybe a little state. It's all good. All right. So have you ever been on one of these sort of weird hybrid?
I have. Yes.
And if anybody is watching the YouTube, we are not yet ready to call the meeting to order. We do not yet have quorum. So it is technically supposed to start in a few minutes, but we must have quorum before it starts. Do you need a cup?
Oh, okay.
Oh, so noting we're being recorded. So while we can chit chat,
Yes.
you're being recorded. And not just on YouTube, we're being recorded on Zoom as well. We're being double recorded.
Okay.
Yeah, I have noticed that as I'm going into local businesses, there are no lines. It's not empty, and I mean, just, hi, Steve.
Hello.
And I have noticed less traffic, but more construction, which
Yes.
makes more traffic.
Yes.
How are you, Steve? Oh, you besides being muted, how are you?
I'm great. I'm great. How are you?
Hi, were you on the email from Ann Rubin?
Yes, I was going to respond to her after the letter is finalized and sent out.
Okay, great. Well, after it's sent out or after it's finalized tonight, and you can just share it with everybody if you want.
Okay, great. I'll do that then.
Just say, you know, UNNC will be sending it in the morning, assuming it is finalized.
Right. Okay. Terrific.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because when I go home, I'm done. You know,
Oh, I don't blame you.
I'm just done.
I don't blame you. It's a whole day project.
Right. Every day. That's
Yep.
what I mean.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So we're waiting for everybody. So
Hey, you're
Cam-
here. I'm here. Do I hear Teresa?
no.
No.
We will do introductions, but you want to introduce yourself now?
Steve.
That's Steve.
Hi, Steve. My name is Tamala Choma.
Hi.
How are you today?
I think you missed it.
I'm doing great. I'm sorry, Laura.
Did you miss the name? Tamala Choma.
Kamala?
That'd be nice. But
Wouldn't
no.
that be great? No, Tamala with a T, but same spelling.
Oh, with a T, Tamala. Okay, great. Sorry.
It's okay.
Hey, Kamala's a good name too.
Yes.
I support it.
So, yeah, no, we're waiting for actual quorum. I guess I can
Okay.
call Paula.
Okay.
Find out if she's coming.
Kamala, are you running for a board seat?
I am.
Good for you. Thank you for doing that.
Area 1 resident.
Okay, terrific. Area 1 that's a really big area, isn't it?
I live right up the street off of Arlington and 16th Place.
Okay, very good.
And yes, it is a very big area. It's all of Arlington Heights and all of Angeles Vista.
Right, that's what I
It
thought.
should have been 2 regions.
Right.
But
Yeah.
then we had too big of a board.
Uh-huh.
Hello. So now I'm really gonna start dialing for dollars here. Find out who else is coming.
We
Sorry.
need to invest in a new phone for you.
I like
Is that a flip phone?
No, I like the style. I like the size. I'm beginning to hate this particular phone.
I think we could get a community fund together for you.
Hey, look, I got 2. This is a smartphone. 2.
It's
but-
looking like the 1990s over there.
But you know something? These are hot and in style again. And not only that, they fit nicely in a pocket when you're going to work sites, which I do. Oh, good. There's Michael. So we're going to, as soon as Candace has.
I'm Caesar, by the way.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Tamala.
Tamala.
Yes, nice to meet you.
I'm gonna have an embarrassing moment.
Okay. Do you live about?
16th place. How about yourself?
Jefferson and 12th.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Laura. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm okay. And hi, Siobhan,
Hello,
if you're really there.
I'm really here.
All right. And since you're not an officer, you don't have to have your camera on, but you know, it's good practice. Okay, we're waiting for Candace to call the meeting to order because this one requires quorum,
Okay,
so. That's what we're doing.
sounds good. How's everybody doing?
Well, how are you doing? Have you had any sleep?
Yeah, sleeping pretty good. Wakes up 2 times a night so far.
I was just gonna say, that sounds like a new baby.
Yes, she was born a week ago, last week on Monday. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You. Yeah,
Is this your first? or you-
second.
Second.
Yeah, we're better prepared. We know what to expect.
Okay.
So it's not
But-
some nerve wracking.
Sure.
She's a girl, yeah.
You have no
I have a
idea.
boy and a girl.
Well, you have no idea what to expect. They're just different.
They're a little different,
Oh,
for
girls.
sure. She's definitely more relaxed.
Yeah.
One was too crazy. I don't know if that was normal or not. She's like so peaceful. I'm like cries.
Michael, you have two as well, right?
I have two sons. I was going to warn you that I was overconfident on the second that everything would be the same, and then they're totally different.
Yeah. Maybe it's different on the better side though, because it's our first is a boy and just the energy is so real and
Hi there.
hello.
Okay, everybody but Candace. Come on in.
Hi. The lights are on. Oh, yeah, that'll turn off. Thanks so much.
So we're waiting to officially start the meeting and we're all chit chatting. Oh, okay. Can't call the meeting to order without before. Got, and it's a forum of officers. So there's Michael, there's Laura, and we're missing Candace, but she was on the way. Okay. Perhaps I would call.
I feel like I just walked into it.
Caesar.
Rabia.
Cheers.
Yeah. Hi.
Cheers.
Okay, maybe we should just do introductions. When Candace gets here, she'll have missed that, so why don't we just go ahead and do that? And I can also share the agenda, even though we haven't actually called the meeting to order. Because I'm all for not waiting.
Come forward and get on this.
Oh, yeah, so I need to keep one here, even, but it is gonna be up there as well. So, what I'm wanting to show you is the agenda. So we'll have a welcome, call to order, review of this agenda, which we'll just do right now. We don't really need a roll call, so there may be 3 officers here. With general public comments, since you're all somewhat new, that's any comments on anything that's not on the agenda. If it is on the agenda, we get to that item. We'll probably, since everybody's here and waiting, defer executive committee business. There's not much anyway. And then we're going to interview candidates we have a number of vacancies on board. And we have a couple of funding requests.
Can they hear us or?
Yeah, they're here. They can all hear us. And our room is getting crowded. Welcome, come on in. Room is getting crowded. And we have also on the agenda, kind of we'll talk about some upcoming events that are going to need volunteers to staff them and other volunteer things. We're going to not do the neighborhood council end of year review, but we will do taking a look at our governing board agenda for August, you know, what's going to be on the agenda. So this committee is of officers. So I am going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to not do what I just did because I want to stop the share and let's everybody introduce ourselves. And again, what we're waiting for is our treasurer to join this meeting.
I didn't know if it was a public meeting.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely. So I'm Laura Myers. I'm the vice president for UNNC. I am obviously on the governing board, and I'm also a resident of Angeles Vista, which is in Area 1. So we're just going to go around the room and introduce first the physical room and then the Zoom room.
Okay, I'm Dr. Gina Davis, and I live around the corner on West 25th Street. And I'm
The reason I'm grinning is because we've known
We've
each
known
other
each other
for
for
years.
and I'm happy to be here.
Great. I'm Cesar Garcia. I live down on Jefferson 12, and I'm one of the candidates interviewing today.
I'm Rabia Khan and I live on 29th Place of Western, and I'm also a candidate interviewing for today.
Say, my name is Tamala Chuma, and my family actually grew up on 25th Street, so I know that area well. I live in the area of Arlington and 16th Place, and I'm also a candidate.
My name is Jason Salzman. I live on 29th Place. My wife is Rabia Khan over here. So I just came to check out and support.
And so let's go around the Zoom room. Steve?
I'm Steve Peckman. I live in Jefferson Park for about 20 years. I am a member of Jefferson Park United and Friends of the Jefferson Park HPOZ, and we have a funding request to be discussed tonight.
Okay. Michael?
Hi, I'm Michael Surstrom. I'm a member of UNNC and the signatory on the executive committee, and I live in Harvard Heights.
Okay, and Siobhan? Are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still with you. Sorry. I am Siobhan O'Neill Schwenk. I am an incoming representative for Region 4. I'm in on Western Heights on 20th Street in Gramercy. So I'm not in a part of the executive board, but I'm just sitting in tonight figuring out how all of this works.
Right. I don't think you're incoming anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was
Actually-
just sworn in about 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Congratulations.
Okay,
Thank you.
so yes, congratulations to us all. So let me call Candace again. Just soon she'll be off. See, I have 2 phones. I know how to use them.
Have an exit agenda.
Flip right.
We can share.
Can you deputize Siobhan to
No, so
Forum?
sorry, we can't. I mean, we can move on. I just want to verify that she's gonna get here. We can go on to general public comments, but I just want to take this moment and rather than interrupting someone making a public comment. Although she might be avoiding my call. That's this is embarrassing. She's
Never a
not
good sign.
at the computer. No, I was just talking to her. Okay, let's just move on. Let's just pretend we've convened the meeting properly. And we're going to move on to general public comments and announcements. And these are for anything that's not on tonight's agenda. So I have one announcement, which Michael, I'm sure knows about, that tomorrow morning from 9 to 11, I think it is. There is, quote, community meeting, but it's on Zoom regarding a cannabis license application in Harvard Heights. At Venice and Hobart, is that accurate? I think.
Yes.
Yeah, why, I'm just being stupid because I actually have the address that are in front of me. At 2181 Venice Boulevard, actually. And it turns out, Michael, the problem is, so I have drafted a letter, but it's not in the agenda packet. We're gonna have to share it overnight, I think. That the way they work is that UNNC's letter is actually due no later than tomorrow if it wants to be shared with the commissioners.
Okay.
So there you go. So anyway, there is a public hearing. Hi. Tomorrow morning from 9.
Or extra chair somewhere.
There is, there's a whole slew of chairs. Right there. Oh, thanks.
Be honest.
Well, so sorry. Okay, are there any announcements? Any,
I can go, I'm advocating for a park and we finally got a meeting with CB10 with Hakeem tomorrow at 1.
so
I am very excited.
I have 2 meetings tomorrow. So, we've all introduced ourselves.
So Higgins, I live in Jefferson.
And we've met, but I also, you post a lot too on social media. A little bit.
Much in the Buy Nothing, yes, but not some, maybe sometimes in the other groups, like the Jefferson Park groups, yeah.
Right, okay, so did I see a hand?
No, I was just giving thumbs up to Caesar's project.
Okay, what do you want to tell them a little more? Because after all, we have time.
Yeah, so we've identified 3 parcels close right next to the West Los Angeles Church and between the gas station, the SoCal Gas. That's CDO. We're trying to convert that into a park. Our neighborhood is very park poor. And it's close to the train station, so it would be nice to have that area like revitalized with a nice park.
Right, and you're being modest, he has spoken to everybody already. It's on a mission.
I am on a mission, and the man that we talk to is tomorrow.
But what's interesting, well, the old Chinese proverb, maybe you're like, be interesting is a curse, right? So what's interesting is that for at least 15 years, Metro's been talking about first mile, last mile projects within the 1 mile radius of stations, and how it's important to have them be green and inviting so that people who live, for example, where Caesar lives, have an inviting walk to, or bike ride or scooter ride or whatever, to the stations. And it's just nothing's happened. So they keep restarting that conversation and refunding some more studies, but nothing has happened. So I think we're trying to make something happen.
In terms of a park or mixed use?
Well, first mile, last mile is much more than a park.
I work at Metro, so that's what I'm asking.
Okay, so
You talk about it in a public sense. but
Yeah.
yes, I'm
It's
familiar
much,
with it.
but it's like it would be trees, but one iteration had said, why don't you use some of the city land to make a path from the residential area to Expo? It's the same lot that we're talking about with trees. That's not a park, but a park would be better than just more trees, but more trees would be better than doing nothing.
Yeah.
And the most, oh thank goodness, we have quorum. The most recent iteration of this, and I'm gonna guess the money's been clawed back, but there was to be a federal funded project before the Olympics. And they once again talked about trees. But the weirdness was they were in effect talking about replacing the ficus trees on Crenshaw with different trees. And it's like, well, no, they're not perfect trees, but they are canopy. And there's so many other areas right around there that have no trees. So that didn't make sense. But anyway, so this is within the last few months. So this is something that's been going on from long ago and far away to present. And if you have other insights, please talk to C.
When
we're not being,
I haven't seen anything on the website recently, but you and I can talk offline.
We'd love to, yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I'm glad the influence is limited, let's be
Yeah, I heard we
but-
talked to people on Metro and they're like, you gotta go talk to Hakeem in District 10 and then come back to us.
yeah.
So,
The same message from people I've
Yeah.
trusted at a public event. So, so everybody's saying Council District 10 needs to get on board first. So we're meeting with Council District 10
Okay.
tomorrow. And I say we because I'm going, but it's just me.
yeah, thank you for being there though. And
So, okay, we have quorum. Candace, do you want to introduce yourself and then we're moving on? If you're there, because you're mute.
Hi, sorry.
All right, it's all right.
It's not It's not a meeting if you're not on mute. Okay, so hi, my name is Candace Jackson, and I am currently the treasurer of UNNC, and it's so nice to see you all virtually this time, but in person next time. And excited to hear more about everyone's excitement about UNNC.
Okay, so thank you. So we're on general public comments, but I think we're coming to a conclusion of that. And now officially convening the meeting. And the first next item, if there is one, is a treasurer's report. I know I'm just catching you by surprise, but do we have a treasurer's report? The only expenditure we've made is the food I bought for the governing board meeting.
Sorry,
mute.
there's noise in the background. So the only other update I have is that the funding for Jefferson Park went through this week or late last week.
For the
So
movie?
yes, for the movies in the park. So they should be receiving their check for the movies in the park within the next week or two. So that was through, I'm gonna log in to have an exact number of how much we have, because I know we have a couple of requests. So we may have to do some deciding as to whether we want to fund some things or wait until our rollover hits so that we have more money in the category to actually fund. Because off the top of my head, I think we have like maybe $2,800 or $3,000 left, and I know that we have a couple of requests. So I'm gonna open the page right now
Yeah,
and
Candace,
have
neither,
exactly what we have.
yeah, neither of these are NPGs. What we
Oh.
have, neither one are NPGs. So one would be an outreach expense.
Oh, okay.
And the other might be able to come from, I mean, we'll talk about it when we get there, but the other one might be able to come from the special funds.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Yeah. Or outreach, but they're not NPGs.
What is NPG?
I know we're talking shorthand. NPG is a nonprofit grant. So the funding requests for tonight are not from 501c3 nonprofit. Okay, so
that's good to know.
So are we moving to my report? Mine's also very brief-ish.
Hold on. Yes, we can move on. I have the numbers in front of me, so I know how much we have to spend. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, so Vice President has two things. One is just a little note on the training update and attendance requirements. So our new board members are beginning, and some of them have finished doing their training. The Department of Neighborhood Empowerment did not give Elizabeth Fenner her credentials until last week. So she's just now going on her training. But we still haven't heard word from Christina. So that's for Michael and Candace. So she's not done training, but Dunn has also not heard from her, and neither have we. So we don't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow is right. Oh, wow. If
Put
she's
myself back on mute, sorry.
Yeah. So the other thing I have is approval of the letter to Isaac Bryan. And I want to thank Steve for, well, not just pushing me, but pushing me. Of course, where is it? Hang on a second. Steve, if I make you a co-host, because apparently I didn't bring it over here, can you share the letter?
Yes, hang on a second. Just let me find it and we can look at it.
Okay, so by way of explanation, we had delegated to executive committee the task of doing a final approval on a letter that we are sending to Isaac Bryan regarding SB 79. Normally, we wouldn't necessarily share such letters within executive, but because it's kind of political. We thought we should, and if you'll share it, it'd be great, but this was already approved as to broad content and most specifics by the governing board.
Can you see it?
Yeah, it's a little teeny.
Um,
If you can make the view a little bit larger. And so Candace and Michael, we just have to do a little motion to approve it. Whoops.
yeah, hang on a second. Let me get a different form of it.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Well, sorry, I didn't bring it on my flash drive. Sorry.
SB 79.
I mean, I probably could have gone into the agenda packet to get it as well.
I'll have it in a second.
All right. So anyway, we decided to write a letter to our assembly member to
Any support or?
no to no, because I'll just give you the background on it. The SB 79 essentially would remove our character protections within our neighborhoods, and UNNC's position for a very long time is that we support increased housing on the corridors, east, west, north, south, but not in random circles inside neighborhoods, because just, you know, it takes away the character that people around here often bought their homes for or moved here as renters for, but we need the more housing. So, you know, there's a balancing act that has been our position. So while we've supported a huge amount of housing units, I mean, more than most neighborhood counts, far more than most neighborhood counts, actually. And at a ratio of about 50-50 on affordable versus regular. We are not in support of SB 79. Steve, are you having?
Yeah, for some reason I'm having a hard time getting it.
Okay, well, should I try
I-
going into the agenda packet?
If you go into the agenda, you could call it up. Sorry about that.
Yeah. All right. Well, no, that's okay. I was like, I apologize for not bringing it. No, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this.
Okay, I have it now.
Okay, well then.
I can share it. Sorry, it's just too many folders. Share. Here we are.
This is the final one with the UNNC. Oh, look at that.
How's that?
Yes, I'm looking at your remark. Well, no, that isn't it, because it's not in format.
Well, I don't have the formatted one.
All right, so I'm going to try this again. I am going to, because that's the one we need to approve.
Okay. Yeah, I never got that one.
Okay. And then I should have done this all along. It's so easy. Except for the fact. Okay, so this is the final letter. This is very close to what we approved at governing board. And Candace and Michael, you should be looking at this, if not on your home computers, here up on the screen. So we are making the point that we have a long record of supporting equity and diversity and affordable housing. We also support major housing and mixed use projects along our corridors instead of in stable character and historic neighborhoods. And the SB 79 circumvents local decision-making processes and imposes unintended burdens on communities. Importantly for us, it does not require affordable housing or housing for the homeless. I'm going to do a digression, but in South LA and Southeast LA combined, of all of the ED1 approved projects, so several thousand units, only 3% are for people earning very low or extremely low income, and the other 97% of those approved units some of which are built, will be built, maybe some will never be built. But 97% were for people earning $75,000. So this was the disconnect that we have. It's the definition of affordable isn't affordable for our community. It may be affordable, not for our community. That's not what we wrote here. And Steve, I'm sorry, I'm running through this quickly, except for now I've lost my scroller thing. Did you want to say anything or?
I think you're doing a good job.
Okay, except for the fact that I can know, oh, there it is. Okay. So also, our city attorney has noted that it's an unfunded mandate. And so we don't have the money to pay for it. That's an unfunded mandate. And she doesn't usually write letters to the legislators. So I think this is an important point. So it overrides existing zoning. This is what we wrote. It may or may not be good arguments. And okay, so Michael and Candace, have you read this letter? Because I've read it multiple times.
Just finished reading it.
Okay. As
and
we
it-
are, go ahead.
Yeah. No, it looks good to me. And I like the fact that we pointed out that we stand with other neighborhood councils, so we're not the only ones in opposition to this.
So now I know here in the room, we may have people who are in support of SB 79. But this is something that the governing board already voted on. So, so can I get a motion to approve this letter?
I will make a motion. This does not need to be AC, correct?
Oh, God, no.
Okay.
No. I mean,
I will make said motion.
and a second from Candace. Thank you. All in
I
favor?
second.
Yeah, it's just the three of us who get to vote.
In favor.
Okay, motion passes. And I don't know if we're still on the screen here or not, because I've lost track here.
Thank you very much.
I am getting rid of that, maybe screen sharing. Okay, cool. The other thing is I'm going to be sending tomorrow morning, first thing after the meeting of the cannabis meeting, because I might amend the letter, but UNNC voted at the last governing board meeting, which the two of you recall, that we would put in a letter with a conditional or contingent approval for the cannabis application of Venice. And our intention was to go to the meeting, listen, and hear what other people had to say, then write a letter and deliver it on August 7th at the commission meeting. However, there's fine print in the meeting notice for tomorrow, which says that all letters have to be in by end of day tomorrow. So I'm going to go to that meeting, listen, and I've already done a draft, but I will finalize the draft and send it to you too. I hope you're both on email tomorrow because I have a multi-meeting day. So, but the conditions that so far I put in this draft, and I don't really have copies I can share here, but I don't have it digital up on the screen, but the conditions.
Free weed for everybody in the neighborhood.
No, the conditions would be, number one, remember we talked a lot about just the condition of the building, and it turns out that there already is an approved HPOZ and CPIO upgrades required for the building, that it dealt with the colors, the awning, the doors, the windows, and it doesn't have barbed wire on it, and it doesn't have security bars on it. So the first condition now in our letter is adhere to the plans that were approved already. I mean, they're stamped, they're everything, they're online in Zebus. So beyond that, remove the unapproved barbed wire, limit the hours from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., which is what the applicant said he wanted to do. Provide on-site security officers, both inside and outside. They had said they'll have one security guard on site at all times. We're adding not just for the interior, but to assure there's no loitering, no use of the product on or adjacent to the premises, no littering on or adjacent to premises, no double parking on the street. These were things that we discussed and or the Harvard Heights Association is sending out to their members as conditions that they want. It's a combination. Prevent vagrants from loitering on the property, provide adequate exterior lighting, provide functioning high quality cameras both inside and outside, and keep no less than 30 days of recorded content at any one time. That clearly was not discussed at our meeting, but was apparently discussed at the Harvard Heights meeting, because this condition came in loud and, you know, very specific. Remove graffiti from the building within 48 hours, if not sooner. Keep the exterior clean of trash and debris. Utilize compostable bags or recycling bags, things that aren't just going to be littered all over the place. Prevent the unpackaging and use of their products on the property and in the public areas adjacent to the building. And then again, this was a copy paste. So great concern is packaging litter and bags from the businesses ending up as trash on the street. And then I went into our transcript from the meeting, or you know, the audio transcript, and one of us, possibly me, but could be anybody because they didn't identify themselves, said a new business should not be saddled with a responsibility for what another business is doing. So in other words, the current litter is coming from somewhere else, not from this business. But the neighbors are complaining that they are constantly finding retail bags from another cannabis operation nearby. So it's not really fair to blame these guys for that, but it's a concern that they're already noting. And then the applicant noted that this would just be a retail operation. It's not going to have a delivery service. UNNC recommends that this is a condition. And then finally, a remark that came from one of the officers of Harvard Heights Neighborhood Association, that the actual property owner of this building has shown no inclination to maintain the property. There's currently constant graffiti on the building, and the city is coming out and painting it out, not the owner. And there's constant litter around the perimeter of the building. So it's unclear if the property owner has any ownership interest in Sweetgrass Enterprises, but it would be important to condition the cannabis license with routine and robust maintenance of the property exterior in order to be a good name. So that's the draft. Might be close to the final. I don't know. But this is going to be a rush job tomorrow. So I hope you guys are available to approve the letter.
I will be. Okay. And if you need any assistance with drafting that up, I'm happy to do so.
Well, I managed to get it real pretty already.
There you go.
It's just that I didn't know that it has to be turned in tomorrow until like 6:30. Well, right before I came here. That's why it's not online, and it's not even on my little flash drive, because the flash drive was already in my pocket when I was writing this. So anyway, okay. Next item, if there's no questions on this, is
Why does it?
Oh, go ahead.
I do have a quick one. Why does it matter if they have a delivery service?
What matters is if they say this is the nature of our business, okay, that should be the nature of their business. So we're dealing with, for example, completely unrelated, another application down in Jefferson Park where they said we're going to do this, this, and this. And while awaiting approval from the city, they're doing a little bit of this, but now they're also doing that. So, so it's not consistent with what they presented. So this is what they presented. That should be what is approved.
Yeah.
So beyond that, I don't personally know what difference it would make.
Well, I think it depends upon the operations of it. So I think, like, if you look at the food delivery service in Washington, there's always a number of cars in front of them, and it's a giant mess. So depending upon how they were to operationalize a delivery service, I would have concerns about it. If it has no impact to traffic, so be it. But if it's a matter of, constant car flowing in and out, then that area is really not amenable to it. It would become like the food service place on Washington and Normandy.
Well, and also just in general, if they're not planning for it, then there will be no plan.
Right.
So, how is it gonna happen? So, I mean, the parking lot is accessed from the side street and it's not a wide side street. So, yeah.
I was just curious.
But I don't have any real personal opinion on this at all, frankly. I mean, I live down the street from a liquor store. I have personal opinions about that. And the little mini things that just have been finally consumed when they get to my house. And then they throw the little bottle, but so I have opinions, but I don't have opinions on this. Okay, we are on interview candidates for vacant UNNC governing board seats, discussion and action. So for Michael and Candace, do we care which order we go in?
Not particularly.
Okay. So I think we go 1, 5, 6, area 1, because it's numeric order.
Sounds good to me.
And I can bring up your application, but maybe what do you think? Do you want me to screen the applications, or do you want to just have our candidates introduce themselves, or both? How do you want to do this?
I'm reading along on my phone. So for me, you don't have to bring it up, but if other folks want to see it, it's fine.
So it's the same with me.
Have folks here? Oh, why don't we just then start with you? Introduce yourself.
Sure.
Although I am gonna go read it. Oh, this one. Won't share the screen.
Tamala Choma, by profession, I'm a healthcare attorney. As I mentioned earlier, I spent a lot of time in this neighborhood in West Adams as a child and am now a homeowner in the area. My interest in serving on the board specifically focuses on parking and cleanliness in the neighborhood. So those are issues that I'm concerned about as a member of the community, and more public spaces, parks is something I'm also quite passionate. Great.
Okay, and I know well, first of all, I know you got here on time, so you can, but you work remote, or do you work full-time in the Valley?
I work full-time in the Valley.
So one of our questions, I mean, you saw tonight, we couldn't start the meeting on time, just with one person late. So when we can't start our governing board meetings on time, we have 10 people waiting for 3. In other words, it's difficult because we have a much larger agenda and a lot more people waiting. So I don't mean to be rude to you. I'm just saying this is the situation. Would you be able to absolutely commit that no matter what, either on the Zoom or in the room?
Absolutely. I'm very time oriented. So it's 7 o'clock, it's 7 o'clock.
Right. And you said you're very interested in recreation parks. So we are missing, we don't have a recreation and parks committee at this time. Could be kidding.
Seems like it's done.
But I mean, we have a standing meeting date, which is the 4th Monday in this room, but we don't have a committee to meet. And we could change the date. But it's hard for me to say, would you chair a committee because you haven't attended any committees, but what kind of commitment can you make to?
I think it would depend upon the committees that are available. I think Parks and Recs is interesting. I also serve on board of another community nonprofit that's growing communities from Swap LA. So so when I think of Parks and Recreation, I also think of food.
Right, but that's our environmental committee.
Okay, so then I think that
Crop Swap would be environmental.
That's
committee.
more aligned with my interests.
Got it. Michael or Candace or anybody else have any questions? We're being very quiet. We should be being robust and not make me do all of the heavy lifting.
And
You can ask questions.
oh, okay.
Anybody can ask a
Okay,
question.
okay.
Oh, we have fully participatory meetings. However, you can't vote.
That's good. Okay, so you were saying that you live in the area, you just work in the valley.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, okay, that's what I wanted to make sure that I understood. Okay. And how long have you lived in the area?
We've lived in the area for 3 years.
But you grew up here.
I did.
Go
I
to,
spent every summer here. My family owned a house on 25th Street, 25th. The neighborhood's changed a lot since I was a child.
On that side of Arlington?
That's
Oh,
it.
okay.
so in Kitty Heights. Yes.
It was just West Adams when I was,
Got
there's
it.
only one family that still owns a home on the block.
Really? That's a long time ago. So Donna Jones' family still owns a house there.
No, that's not the name that I.
Huh.
Mhm.
Recently.
I'm sorry, I was gonna say I have a question, but I feel like there's feedback, so I might be earlier or later than I think. So this year, UNNC is gonna set like specific goals for things that we want to see at the end of our annual fiscal year, which is like July of next year. Is there one goal or one thing that you could think of specifically that you would want to see us do as a council? With your help, like what would you want to see UNNC do as a goal? And I'm probably gonna ask this to everyone because I have to do the packet. So be prepared, everyone.
Challenging
Um,
question because I don't know what you are doing. So it's hard for me to
Interesting.
say what I would want to accomplish if that's already on your agenda. I think I'd want to understand what your strategic plan looks like and what your goals
Okay.
are. How we fit there. And if you don't have a strategic plan, it's
That's a good
that would be a goal. I'm very organized and structured, so I work well with strategic plans, putting together like what are we going to do from idea from concept to actual realization. So that's something that I do well.
Okay, that's good to know. We have several places where those skills could be very applicable. So, okay.
Excellent. And did you say that parking was one of the concerns you had?
It is. Yes, there are a number of businesses on some of the main corridors that specifically car repair shops who often park their cars that they're working on the side streets. And then the people who are in the neighborhood on the sidewalk as well, who then the residents don't have places to park because the cars that they're working on are either parked on the street or on the sidewalk. So yes, that's.
And I do wonder if the owners of the cars actually know they're doing that, leaving their cars lying around.
Right.
They probably don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a horror story.
Yes, I see it all the time.
Okay, so all of our board members are expected to, well, we're all volunteers, so everyone. So when we use the word expect, we expect, but we're all volunteers. So there's certain things we expect and they're real. So for example, the training. When you join the UNNC board, you have 45 days to complete 5 city required trainings, which include a code of conduct, which is quick, ethics, which is about 2.5 hours, funding. Michael, did you end up taking the funding by accident a few weeks ago?
I logged on and I wasn't supposed to. It said I
How
was.
long? I'm just wondering how long it takes. Because I haven't taken it for a long time because I do the in-person funding.
Yeah, I know. I would say it was about an hour, but that's it felt like an hour. I'm not sure. I was actually looking at the clock.
Right, and then in addition to that, anti-bias and a gender something. But I mean, and the ethics and the funding have to be taken every 2 years. So that's mandatory. The city council has voted on it. Within our standing rules, for at-large representatives, so that's none of you, are required to be a part of a committee. The area reps, we encourage to attend and be part of committees, but certainly to attend if a committee has an agenda item that's pertinent to the area you represent. So that would often be planning and zoning, but it could be any committee. And then also to attend meetings of neighborhood associations within your boundaries. So area 1, well, actually all 3 of your areas don't really have those. Whereas area 4, where Siobhan represents, they have strong neighborhood associations. So she and Chris are going to this meeting. So that is expected, but we're all volunteers for this. And last but not least, we have public engagement events. So we table at a lot of events. In August alone, we'll be on August 5th at the Olympic Police Division for Night Out on Crime. And on August 12th, we'll be at the Movie in the Park, Leslie Shaw Park in Jefferson Park for an alternative night out on crime. And then on the Labor Day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's a huge event here in the avenues, Jazz Under the Stars, 3 nights in a row, and we will have a table 3 nights in a row. And need people, not necessarily board members, we need people. You go to that, don't you?
Yes, I do.
It's a wonderful event.
It's a wonderful event.
It's a wonderful event. It's very fun. I'm saying all these things. I will not be at the UNNC table except for maybe to set it up because I have a different table that I'm going to be at all 3 nights. But we are, that's 5 nights that we're going to have people in attendance at. So that, it's hard to say it's an obligation, but it's very difficult for just a handful of board members when we have a 23-member board to do all of it, even though we like to. I mean, Candace and I are at most of these events. But it's difficult. So, all right. Did that trigger any other questions for you guys? Or should I move on?
Not for me.
No,
All
I'm
right.
okay.
All right, area 5.
Hello.
Can you say, when they say area 5, like what is that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then
Yes.
what is
Okay, so area 1.
West Adams.
Well, yeah, but
and
you,
North.
yeah. So area 1, we call it
Which one's mine? That's what I want to know.
3, and it has a vacancy. Just by the way.
Oh, I'm area 3.
Yes. You are area 3. Area 1 would be all of Arlington Heights, which is the area from Arlington to Crenshaw, 10 freeway to Pico. And it is also Angeles Vista, which is the area from Washington to Pico and Western to Arlington. So it does not include the little jog below Washington and the 10 freeway, because that's in area 4. Don't ask me. Area 5 is the big section of Jefferson Park that is within UNNC. It's the area west of Arlington, from Adams all the way down to Obama, pretty much.
Oh, wow.
It's huge. Plus, south of Jefferson, from, I want to say from Western to Arlington. I don't have that.
Yeah, that's right here. It's like
big.
Arlington to Crenshaw and Adams to Obama, it looks like.
Yeah, area 5.
Yeah,
Why
area
is
5.
it so big?
Because area 6 is a tiny little thing called the Bungalows of Jefferson Park, because they had a strong and unique neighborhood association at that time. But when we were doing the boundaries, it kind of had to do with who had neighborhood associations and who didn't. So area 2 is Harvard Heights and West Adams Heights. They have neighborhood associations. Area 4 is Western Heights and Kinney Heights have neighborhood associations. And area 3 is the teeniest of all. It's just the avenues.
Yeah.
Because it had really strong neighborhood
Yes,
association.
they do. So I'm sorry to take up my time. I'm just trying to
It's okay.
understand. So the United Neighborhood Council, with all the different neighborhood councils that are under it, do these board members or soon to be board members represent?
These names were the conglomeration.
Yes, the whole thing.
Yeah, we are the United Neighborhoods of the Historic Arlington Heights, West Adams, which is takes everything out.
So there's not,
And Jefferson.
so there's no such thing as a West Adams Neighborhood Council? A
Well,
Arlington
unless
House
there
neighborhood?
is a West Adams Neighborhood Council, but it's not us.
Oh, and
It's
you don't,
confusing.
you
It's a
don't,
little bit this way.
you don't affiliate.
Collaborate.
All right, we remain pissy-wissy because it is confusing. Because back in the day when we were all being approved, there were lots of objections to the name. They're taking the name West Adams because now we think of them, that area, as the new West Adams. But it's because it started with them taking on this name that at the time they were known as Crenshaw District, and they said, oh, it's pejorative. So
Yeah, it took me a minute to understand. I had to look at the map a lot of times and like understand the whole map
Right.
on the.
right, so the West Adams Council is west of Crenshaw to the edge of the city.
West of Crenshaw, which is not this way. That's got more further, that's more mid-city.
No, south of the freeway.
South of
Yeah,
the.
you're gonna have to look it up.
Shaw to Fairfax, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Is,
You know where Johnny's is? That,
so Johnny's is within ours.
no, that's Crenshaw, I'm just trying to,
Oh,
it's on the opposite side of,
It's on the west side of Crenshaw.
Correct,
So that area is considered West Adams Neighborhood Council.
correct. Correct. You know, where all the
Yeah.
fancy mansions are, but not.
Right.
Well, we are being recorded, so I guess I should be nice.
Yeah, you should. How you did, you kind okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay, so we
Yeah,
interrupted.
when you have a time, you can look at this beautiful map, all the 100, there's 100 of them, neighborhood councils. And you can just like click through them. I think this is some, yeah,
And
it's
then,
kind of small.
and
for a-
what website did you?
You just Google Los Angeles Neighborhood Councils.
Okay.
maps.
Okay, so Caesar does get to talk. Go ahead.
Oh, so a quick question, because you mentioned Jefferson Park used to have a neighborhood association. When were these designations put in place? Like when was the UNNC?
When did we do the
created?
regions? It
Yeah.
was on the year 2002.
Ah.
And what was going on was that Council District 10, and noting that it had different boundaries than it does now. So Council District 10 had put together for a couple of years already by then, leadership council, and had gotten the money together to train community leaders in Coro, which is still in existence to do, leadership training. So we have,
or,
yeah,
I'm doing it here.
you're doing Coro this year. So Coro, so there were about 75 people from all of Council District 10 that took Coro training, and it was about vision mapping some things. And so we kind of all came together, and this goes back to what we talked about earlier about revitalizing our corridors. This is all the way back in 2001, 2002, revitalizing the corridors, making them pedestrian friendly, putting housing and mixed use onto the corridors. And the whole notion was that the residential areas have been uplifting, the inner areas, but the corridors were extremely blighted even then. I mean, this was like 25 years into the urban pioneering movement, but you could drive down Washington Boulevard and think it was completely abandoned still at that time. And it was sweatshops with the doors opening to the rear. So those same people, when the city decided to do the neighborhood councils, Council District 8 already had the Empowerment Congress. And so the neighborhood council system was being modeled after that. But Council District 10 pulled the exact same people together and threw us in a room and said, work out your boundaries. So there was a lot of tussling, and but that's where it came. So UNNC goes up to what was then the boundary of Council District 8. So Exposition Place and Rodeo Row, which is now Obama, that was the boundary between 10 and 8. So that is why we have that little bit of North Lamert Park in our neighborhood council. And the rest of it's all council district 10 now, south of there, but that's in Empowerment Congress West. So these boundaries were kind of arbitrary. How UNNC ended up so large is because the historic West Adams district was pretty much divided between the indice units. And we couldn't do the whole thing in one neighborhood council because that would have been way too many people, then too big, let's say. But but there was a lot of trying to make sure that folks with the HPOZs and National Register districts weren't so divided up that there would be no voice for that. So that's how it, and that's also why it says historic Burlington. Right. And West Adams got put in because we couldn't list every single neighborhood. So for those who know this, the West, I'll just say it's all West Adams. Even the part that was just ranches when there was a West Adams. But it's a lot, they have more than 20 different distinct little neighborhoods. So Jefferson Park was always kind of known as Jefferson Park. If you look at the tract names on your deeds, most of them say something Jefferson Park. And Arlington Heights ditto, it was a township, an actual township, 1987, but then there was no freeway, so it included what we now call the avenues was Arlington Heights as well. Because
he knows everything.
Well, the historical
stuff.
Caesar, you want to start over?
Sure, what was the question? Sorry, so I've been in LA since 2007 when I came to college, and then I've been all around LA, and I've been here in the neighborhood for 5 years now. We bought a house where we live now, and I'm a teacher in South Central, engaged in the Central. So I've been there for 12 years, teaching at the same school, so I deeply care about just the well-being of the neighborhood and the community. And I have 2 kids, newborn baby girl was born last Monday, and a 5-year-old kid. Okay, thank you. So yeah, I really care about them and how they're gonna grow up in this neighborhood, and I want to make it better. Okay, I'm definitely deeply passionate about cars and maybe reducing the amount of cars in our city, but and make it more accessible to not just cars, because every time I come to these meetings, there's the problem with the car, parking, something that has to do with the car. Maybe we didn't have the car, we didn't have problems, but that's a whole different situation. I really care about the parks right now, so my kids can play there.
Do you ride your bike to school?
I ride my bike every day to work, yes, in the rain, any time.
Okay, questions? Candace, Michael, for Caesar? Are we gonna ask questions? Nobody's asking questions.
Well, I mean, I was still sort of flabbergasted that you ride your bike to work every day. I did that for a while, but I decided, like, once I had kids, I decided I wanted to live and, stop not doing so much of that. So I guess what would you be, most sort of interested in trying to impact change on?
Yeah, parks. Right now, we're working on creating a new park. We're advocating for a park close to the Crenshaw stop, and we're having a meeting with Akeem Davis, Park Davis.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, and I'm very excited about it. Since I've been really set put on this idea, because we always come to Leslie Shaw, and we used to do the walk, like 25-30-minute walk, and I didn't mind. I was like, this is what we do. And then I started talking to my neighbors that didn't really, like my next door neighbors, they don't go to that park. I'm like, where do you guys go? I'm like, oh, we drive to this other park. I'm like, I guess that makes sense. They have better things to do over there, but I'm like, but it's your neighborhood, like you should stay around here. So then I started Googling, and I came into this map, the trust slum for public land, and they show that Jefferson Park is the most park neighborhood in not just LA, but pretty much in the country. in terms of density and
Part
so that-
4.
yeah, part 4. So I was like, yeah, we can do something about it. And then I came to these meetings and they're supporting me. So I'm like, okay, let's make it more official. So this is why I'm here.
Okay,
Excellent.
Candace, I've forgotten your question.
Yes, if there was one gold, but I mean, it sounds like you have a big gold with the park here. But if there was another gold, after Laura's wonderful explanation, kind of about our history and what we do, we work with a lot of nonprofits too. That's the MPG money. So we attend their events, and we have a portion of our budget, just background, a portion of our budget that we give to local nonprofits that are within our footprint or do work within our footprint. So if you wanted to see one gold that we achieved, maybe beside the park, what would be one of those golds that you would be willing to work or volunteer for?
I see you guys have like a tree planting event.
Yeah,
That's
so
I want to see that happen. If we can make that work and maybe make more of those events, that would be great.
Yes, there is also a tree committee. So
Yeah,
we
more
have a
plants on
space for
Jefferson
you.
Park, because there's some really sad trees there. I'm like, why is this just dead tree here?
Because it's dead, right outside our house, it's getting red.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, more trees. I would like more trees. We can make that work.
Okay.
Just
Right. Thank you.
Anything further? Any other questions? Anybody else here have questions? Well, I'm gonna say, I mean, didn't say it in your piece, they were so kind, but I assume that you're gonna try and educate us a little bit more about why we want more housing.
Oh, I definitely, that's a whole, I know my audience, I'm like, I don't wanna start debates right now. But yeah, it's definitely more housing.
Well, really interesting thing about United Neighborhoods Neighborhood Council, another really interesting is we actually have a great deal of diversity of opinion,
Yeah,
but we really respect the opinion of the people who live here too.
okay,
So how do we build consensus?
Yeah.
Instead of doing what they do in Congress with just majority wins and then that back and forth. Instead, we work really hard to build consensus.
yeah.
All right, I have no further questions for Caesar, so we're gonna move on to,
Rabia.
I know, I was gonna say Area 6,
Oh,
bungalows
Area
of Jefferson Park.
Um,
I knew your name.
well, yes, it's a different name, so a lot of times people don't know how to say it.
Okay.
So I'm always there to say it first. My name's Rabia Khan and I live in Jefferson Park, Area 6. I moved about almost 2 years ago, and like I love the neighborhood. Like the bungalows are really lovely and it feels like a real community. So, and Allison lives across the street and she's been great getting me like more involved in the neighborhood. I've gone to community meetings and learned so much. And I'm gonna do Coro Lead LA in the fall, and I'm a location manager, so I do a lot of community outreach for filming. So I know what it's like to like knock on doors and talk to all the people and find out what they want, what their concerns are about filming. And I kind of would like to be more involved in my community and find out what they want, do more to make it better. And I like the idea of more parks. We go 25 minutes to the dog park, all the way in Mar Vista, Playa Vista.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our park will have a dog park.
That would be great. I would love it. And yeah, like, so
Like your vision.
yeah, so like I'm
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I feel like we have a little bit of a dog park actually here. I mean, I don't know, but I live in Angeles Vista, and I work at 4th and 25th. And every afternoon, there's people with their dogs coming over the bridge to the park or coming east and west on 25th to this park.
Well,
So it's not officially, but lots of people walking their dogs.
Yeah, we walk the dogs, but having a place.
Having a
because I have to
dog
take
center.
my dogs to the boneyard in Culver City.
We used to go
dog got attached, so
Well,
they.
not only that, it's just
It's very
terrible.
dirt, dirt.
Yeah, it's not, when I went the last time, we went in the morning, because I work for myself, and it was just me and my two little dogs, and they had a ball. But you're right, I've heard, when dogs get attacked, and since I.
Just come back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
We're like,
We want a really nice dog park for the whole neighborhood,
yeah,
like
we do.
Allison has dogs, everyone's walking their dogs all the time.
Everyone, like all the people that I talk to is like, has their dog, I'm like, yeah, we make a park, and it has a dog park, and they're like, yes, let's do this right now, what are we waiting?
Okay, so. Questions.
So,
I have a question. You said you work for, well, maybe I shouldn't ask that question because it's about filming. On 25th, I live on this side on 25th, and there's filming, not as much as they have been in the past, which is really good. But the problem that we see is around parking. And I know we've had this conversation about
But we've had this conversation about the crummy location.
yeah, which my mother's furious. We live in a fourplex, and I live upstairs, and my parents live downstairs, which is great because they're seniors and I keep my eyes on them. But they're doing some filming at the 6 Feet Under house, that's what we call it. Yeah, right here, 6 Feet Under house, and they're taking up our parking spaces from tomorrow to Friday, where we have street sweeping. So it's like, you guys are taking our spaces and we have to move our cars, and there's no place to park because you're taking up the parking. And that's a big issue, and especially in the avenues.
Well, I've filmed at Peace Awareness plenty, so like I know that it's filming here. There is a lot less filming right now, like you said.
Yeah, but
and it really is the location manager and their outreach. Like I work for people who we knock on every door and try to come up with solutions. So I can tell you how to address that with the location manager and other things you can.
that location manager is a jerk.
The particular
Oh, I'm sorry.
guy.
I'm sorry. I'm not a member yet, so.
Well,
It's more specific, and that's something I could, I can't speak generally like. But we can talk about it. I can give you some advice and
Sure, that was.
Now I have a question though, because you're a location manager. No, because I work sometimes as a rep, site rep, so I know the hours. What happens if you're on a location and we have going?
Well, like normally I can zoom in, so that's not a problem. And like I did 7 to 7 today and I made it here, but I'm also like, I got there at 6:30 this morning. Like I'm early, I'm on time. Like people in production are on time, they are committed, they make it work, like we don't have excuses, they just make it work. So yeah, I mean the hours
And
are.
clearly, if you're doing a lot of work on Adams Boulevard, you don't have that much trouble.
I'll be right here. Yeah.
You'll be right here, but if you're out at.
Well, I came from.
If you're out,
Virginia.
I was gonna say, if you're out at some ranch that didn't burn lately,
Yeah. I mean,
That's a
it depends, like my schedule changes every day. I just worked at Sony for 9 months. I rode my bike for 2 months. And then I was like, too many cars, I can't do this,
We gotta go to the
Yeah, or better bike lanes,
or better bike.
So my job always changes. Then I was unemployed for 3 months and now I have a show until December and then I don't know. So my schedule always changes, but like when I make a commitment, I'm committed.
well, and that's the question I'm asking.
Yeah, I'm definitely committed to whatever I commit to, probably 200%. Like, just like my job, that's what it takes. So that's what you do.
Candace, where's your question? Because again, I forgot it.
Yes. So, and then I have a follow-up question to maybe ask everyone at the same time, and then I know time because it's 8:15. Okay, so if there's one goal that you wanted to see the neighborhood council achieve for this year, in our strategic planning or kind of laying out what we want to do, what would that goal or thing be?
Well, I feel like you guys both said it, like, you have a goal about the park, and I'm like, yeah, I want a dog park. And you're like, well, I don't know what your goals are, I need to figure it out. So like, that's how I feel, like, I would love a dog park. I would love to like, I mean, where I live, like right off of Western, we do have a lot of,
I was gonna
prostitution.
say prostitution.
And like, I would really like to do more about that, but I also, we've gone to the community meetings and I know they're doing stuff, so everything is like in conversation, so you have to find out what's going on and then go from there.
Okay, so now I have a follow-up question that's kind of like round robin. It made me think about this and listening to you all kind of share. So we have been working as a neighborhood council to get more out there about what we actually do, right? So it's interesting to hear that some of you guys still have to learn that as you navigate the system. So as folks coming into neighborhood council, what do you think we could do to get the word out to more neighbors to want to become more involved and support the things that we put in a plan or goal to do?
I can go. I've been really interested in like how newspapers are dying and things like media, things that people care about. Like where people get the news is like not the same place anymore. So I feel like LA and the neighborhood councils have a really like important place right now where we can deliver like a newsletter, because a lot of things that happen in these neighborhood councils are important to the neighbors. And if we just put out like a newsletter, something that really matters to them, like the park, I'm sure if we had a name like the newsletter and then put it out, people would be more engaged and come out to the meetings like this.
Well, like, just what you're saying and also what I do, like I go to an area and I film and then I have to go knock on everyone's door, kind of like take a survey or give them information, and then we start a conversation. So maybe it's a newsletter that, you do spend like a few months doing outreach, and then after that you build a base where you can get like a newsletter going out. And also like Seneca Times, which is on Crenshaw. Is it the Seneca Times?
It's called the
Sentinel.
Los Angeles Sentinel.
Yeah. It's probably a famous newspaper that I don't know.
Yeah.
But she started like coming to our house, and like maybe you can put something in there, and that is one way to get it out. So yeah, I think that's what I think, but
yeah.
There used to be, what was the name of that? Was it called Neighborhood News?
Yeah,
She killed. Why did she kill it?
Why did she kill it? Because that was, I loved that paper.
Well, it wasn't earning her a living.
Fair enough.
Work and beyond that, because there's some other efforts in other parts of town. The East Sider is the one I subscribe to, and it's a daily digital, but they've got neighborhood council agendas. They've got highly local news.
I mean, I know from like, I'm a little old school still on Facebook, but like there are a lot of little, like Jefferson Park has at least 2 Facebook groups, and then there's also one on the other side. They're not UNNC, they're in MDAC or whatever, but there's a group of.
Oh, you're talking about Tanisha Street.
I don't know who runs it.
West Adams neighborhood.
Yes, so I feel like that's an opportunity to, I'm not running for any seat here, I'm just saying like, that's an opportunity to promote these meetings more, because mostly it's like, here's a stray dog, or we're doing a trash pickup this weekend.
I also logged on to a Zoom a while ago, and there was like a meeting about the Mills Act that went over so long, and I was like, I don't know what's happening. So like, even when I was trying to participate,
that was Steve and me and some others.
but it wasn't this. It was like downtown.
Oh,
And it was like 7:20, 7:30, and I was like, well, they're probably having a meeting and it's over, so like maybe, because I don't know, maybe you share the Zoom link meeting ID. I don't know, but I was trying to participate and I couldn't, so there might be issues like that.
We need consistent information going out. Cause I know I went to one thing when we were talking about when you guys made us only go right at 25th. Well, whoever, it was somebody. I was on that call. And I was fighting because I've lived here 20 years. And
Oh, UNNC did host that meeting, but it wasn't the UNNC initiative.
yeah, but that was a big thing. And then the next thing I know, I didn't hear, it was like they delete her from the emails. Thing I know, the turning, thing was there, and it was just like, what, so I think more consistency, and that's why I kind of backed off, because I never knew. I just happened to go on the website and saw, and then downloaded the calendar so I can get it on my calendar. But if I hadn't done that, I would never know about these meetings.
Yeah. And I guess what I would say to that is I'm curious about renters and how they can become engaged. I think as I've been listening to everyone speak in this room, the majority are homeowners.
I'm a renter.
You're a renter?
Mhm.
There are a lot of renters in the neighborhood, and how do you get renters engaged in the community and feel like they have some sort of ownership in the community? And then I also think about the solutions we're talking about, online, digital. There is a digital divide. And so if you have a Facebook group, but the family doesn't have internet access, then you have, you can't get to reach those people. And then I also think bilingual information in other languages than English.
Okay, so Steve, I see your hand still up, yay.
Yeah, so I just wanted to, I'm glad Tamala spoke because I want to second everything she said about the importance of outreach, particularly to renters, to try to engage them. And also the other critical point she made is that there's a huge percentage of the UNNC population that doesn't speak English. And it would be very helpful for those that do have internet connectivity to be able to access documents on the UNNC website and agendas and things that are at least in Spanish and English. I think it's important to acknowledge that population is here and that we should be trying to reach out to them and include them.
Okay, I think this is a matter of belief and not total knowledge, that on any of the UNNC web pages, there's a thing you do to change it to Spanish or to Korean.
There's an extension on Google if you
Yeah.
like.
It's plugged
Oh,
into
yeah.
our website, but that doesn't plug into our agendas, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So the more we could do to try to be multilingual and inclusive, I think would be the best for the community and to increase participation.
Agree.
All right. Okay, so it is getting late, so we do have to move on. So what the executive committee would normally do is 3 separate motions. Or not, to what are we forwarding to the governing board? So that's sort of a conversation between Candace, Michael, and myself. So we have an option to do a temporary appointment. I mean, we added that in our bylaws, about 6 months ago?
Right.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Because I feel that, I'm just gonna be honest, I feel like we know Caesar, he's been working his, what, off with us for a while now. We don't know either of you, so I feel like we shouldn't be giving you 4-year appointments, but rather maybe do a, what if,
Like a temporary.
temporary,
Like
but
a
how long?
temporary.
5 months? I mean,
I mean,
so they here,
perhaps I would imagine that for the most part, I would assume that things will be successful. Maybe there's some way that we can do a probationary type thing where if
but the temporary appointments, that's why we added them, not probationary, you're either on or you're off. But the question is when do you expire? So if we give,
well, the next election
You
would
just go by attendance if you don't show up.
well, no, we can't.
Oh.
I'm just saying, we have some options. So one option is we just appoint you to the vacancies and call it a day and hope for the best. Well, we don't appoint, I mean, we recommend the governing board. But another option is we say, and again, I'm separating Caesar from you two because we know him. And it's been coming to things, Asian project. But another option would be, we say, we'll take you two up at the September board meeting and come to committee meetings and our activities during August. But that seems mean, and we should just appoint you. So the third option is do a temporary. Yes, Alice.
have you run into a lot of issues where people have become members of the board and then been disengaged and not?
Well, we have somebody who just ran for election, won, and is ghosting us. So yes, and then we have other people who we appoint and they were total strangers to us and ended up being officers. So
Hold on. So Steve made a good point. He said 1 year initial appointment with the option to extend to 2 years at the end of the year.
okay, so
I don't think that's, what you think about that, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, I think an extended period of time works for me.
Yeah, and a year gives you enough chance to like go through.
okay, let me tell you
Oh,
something. There's
okay.
certain specific seats. So the Area 6 seat is a
Okay.
4-year seat.
Okay.
The Area 5 seat that's vacant, the one currently vacant, is a 2-year seat.
Okay.
Area but is a 4-year seat because Marco is sitting in the 2-year seat. We know that's going to become vacant, but it's not vacant now. We cannot appoint her to an occupied seat. Have to appoint to a vacancy. And the Area 1, similarly, Grace was extended, but the seat she's sitting in is the 4-year seat. So we know she's going to leave, but we can't appoint to her seat. We'd have to appoint to the 2-year seat that has nobody sitting.
Yes, I mean, I think for the.
Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, so I think for the vacant, I think for all of them, we would basically make 1-year appointments and then revisit it in a year.
Yeah.
With the expectation that it would either go to the end of the term. And then for the seats that are currently vacant, we just do it immediately. For the other 2 seats, we wait until there's a hand.
They are current. We have current vacancies. I'm just trying. Remember, we have
Yeah.
in Area 1, Grace is sitting in a seat.
Yep.
So we have 1 vacancy. And in Area 2, 6, Marco's sitting in a seat. And there's a vacant seat. So although we know both Marco and Grace are not here forever, we cannot appoint to their seats.
Right.
So they're
we
sitting
could
in.
just, so let's just appoint to where it's vacant for a year.
Okay.
And then revisit it since the time is like the bylaws don't say a specific temporary
Correct.
time, right?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, just do that.
That's our recommendation. Who wants to make that motion?
Candace move to make.
No, I'm telling them, Robert's rules is I move, then you say make the motion. I move that.
Oh, okay. I move that we.
Sorry.
I move that we appoint.
Don't do.
Yes, we appoint our temporary seats for
Okay.
a year.
Here, I'm gonna raise my hand. I
Okay.
move, only somebody else has to move because I'm chairing.
Yeah.
But this is the motion. I move that we recommend to the governing board that we appoint each of the candidates for 1 year to the current vacant seats in Area 1, 5, and 6. But someone has to so move that.
Thank you.
I'm happy to move exactly then.
And the other has to second it. The other
Second.
Fine.
Okay.
All in favor of the 3 of us. Thank you.
It's fine.
Process. Moving on. Does anybody have Teresa's phone number to see if she's coming for her agenda item?
I do. You want me to text her?
Yes, please. And in the meantime, we will move on to funding request B, Friends of Jefferson Park HPOZ website hosting, Steve Peckman. And there he comes. But you're muted. You have to unmute.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Laura, and the other people attending the meeting. So I'm Steve Peckman, and I'm with Friends of the Jefferson Park HPOZ, and I thank you for considering our request for financial support for hosting of our website. Here in this picture, you'll see the front page of the historic Jefferson Park website. Now, if I can only get the page to work. Oh, there we go. So We're an award-winning group of community volunteers who reside in the Jefferson Park HPOZ. This is the Jefferson Park HPOZ. It includes more than 2,000 properties. This is the city-approved designation map. We're an award-winning group. We were given an award by the Planning Department Office of Historic Resources for our excellence in community outreach, education, public participation, and inclusivity in the HPOZ process. So our mission is to work to celebrate and preserve the cultural history, the historic resources and architectural landmarks of the Jefferson Park Historic District. And through our activities, we strive to foster a greater sense of community. UNNC has been an important partner in our activities since we became an HPOZ. Some of the projects include the street signs. You may not know this, but when the city designates an area as an HPOZ, they do not provide any street markings designating this so that people will know that they're in a historic district. The community has to raise money itself to have them manufactured and installed. And we did that with the help of UNNC a number of years ago. So we now have signage at every entry point into the historic district. We also created a museum quality poster that you'll see down here that includes a sampling of some of the historic houses of the 2,000 within the HPOZ that was given to each property and is provided to everyone who moves into the neighborhood who buys a house. Finally, we share information with current residents, new owners, and investors about the benefits and responsibilities of living in and or owning property within the HPOZ. We created this information packet with the help of UNNC and the West Adams Heritage Association that's provided to every new homeowner within the HPOZ. And it includes things like the preservation plan that's approved by the city, bilingual information about the nature of the HPOZ, who to contact with questions, how to care for the house, etc. Our proposal is to request $432 for website hosting of our site at historicjeffersonpark.org. This is on the Wix platform. The funding allows us to continue to serve our community through operation of the website for 3 years. UNNC previously supported this project in this way in 2022. Why a website? As we were just discussing, it's important to have communication with the community, and the website provides a central clearinghouse of information and the use of electronic tools to optimize our outreach and education efforts in order to maximize the historic preservation of the area. So is it successful? Well, we launched the website in 2020. It's become an important reference for people needing information about the HPOZ and requirements for preservation. It includes an email function, which allows people to communicate with us via email when they have questions or concerns, and this promotes dialogue, education, and participation. And it collects data. So how can we know if we're actually successful? Well, it has an analytics tool that at least demonstrates that it has robust use. For example, over the past year, we averaged 247 unique visitors per month to our little website, which is quite extraordinary. The top 5 areas of interest in descending order are requirements for exterior paint colors, architectural styles that are defined by the city and approved in the preservation plan, which is principally craftsman and some Spanish style, general info about the HPOZ, an overview of it, and most importantly, the context statement in the preservation plan, which describes the history of the area in quite a bit of detail and why it's important, why the area is important historically, culturally, and architecturally to preserve. It's a dynamic resource for homeowners and residents and investors. It has examples of how to successfully restore your house, includes a brief list of contractors and repair and tradespeople who are experienced in working on houses that are over 100 years old, which most of ours are more than 100 years old. And here's an example of one of the web pages. This is under restoration, where it has 7 drop downs of local resources, exterior paint colors, windows, doors, craftsman style guide, commercial properties. Some of you may not know we have a whole commercial corridor within our HPOZ, which makes it pretty unique, which is on Jefferson, and how to research your historic home. We also have have been successful in reaching out to block clubs and the right library to gather information and posts for people in the community. And there's a community news page as well. We also include references for city and county services, including MyLA 311, Animal Services, LAPD, the County Department of Public Health, etc. So it's a real landing source for folks who need information and can get in contact with city and county services. It includes documents, as I said, in both Spanish and English, which are continually updated and augmented. It has direct links to important city information and other entities about historic preservation, including UNNC, the LA City Approved Historic Preservation Plan, LA City Planning Department, LA Conservancy, and WAHA. And here's our two examples of UNNC. Almost every page has at the bottom of it an acknowledgement that UNNC has helped support this work on the website with a direct link to the UNNC website. And under community contacts, we feature UNNC as well. We partner with our community in order to build the website. Webmaster Kiao Tano actually created the website and did all the forward work in planning it and is the webmaster. We had a committee convene for more than 6 months working with the community to decide on the content of the website, things that are most important to folks in the community, how to organize it and test it. The late Lynn Gilson actually took the 120+ page preservation plan and electronically indexed it so that people don't have to leaf through the entire plan. If they need information, they actually point and click and go to that specific section. So many volunteers have provided input and feedback and helped in compiling, maintaining, and restoring resources for historic homes and buildings. A project of this magnitude to do all of that work, if billable in hours, would easily total $12,000 to $15,000. We are asking to partner with UNNC again in the hopes of getting $432 for 3-year hosting on the Wix platform for our website. And I'm happy to answer any questions or provide any clarifications.
Question quick, just does Jefferson Park HPOC ever host like community events to check out the houses, like close down the street or something?
Yes, and UNNC has co-sponsored those as well. We typically have like a coffee walk. We suspended those during the pandemic, and we're currently working on trying to plan one either in the fall of this year or the spring of next year. It takes quite a bit of work to put one of those together. So we're currently working on that. So yeah, we did that annually for a number of years.
Nice.
Okay, so, oh, Teresa's coming. Okay, so I don't think we need to leave this up on the screen. Candace, this would be an outreach expense. We were allowed to use the credit card last time 3 years ago in 2022, but
Okay.
it was, I'm gonna say, but different leadership. So we need to, if we recommend this to the governing board, we also need to talk to Anna about our methodology.
Okay.
Can we just use the credit card again? They are not a 501c3. We cannot do an NPG.
Got you. Okay.
And I don't think we can write a check to a I mean, so we need to talk to Anna.
Okay.
If we're gonna recommend this.
I was gonna say that you probably wouldn't be able to pay via check anyways, if we're paying Wix directly.
Yeah, Wix is probably online.
Oh, yeah, if we're
That's how
paying,
they're
yeah,
doing.
so that's the thing. Last time we were permitted to pay for us to use our credit card to pay Wix directly.
Okay.
But it was also still the middle of the pandemic, and I just don't know. I mean, that's what we need to check.
So just to clarify,
I'll
Wix
email her.
be paid directly by credit card. It's the only payment that it will take.
No, we understand that, Steve,
Okay.
but it doesn't care whose credit card.
No, as long as it's a good credit card, it doesn't care.
Yes, in other words, if we're permitted to write y'all a check then that money can be converted to somebody's credit card, can be.
That would be great, just,
But we don't know. That's what we have to find out.
Okay, I'll send Anna an email tomorrow, but we have $5,500 in outreach, so we should be able to cover this again for the Jefferson Park HPOZ.
Okay, so is that a motion to
Yes.
recommend this to the governing board?
Yes.
Michael, yeah.
I hate to say Ann Zumwinkle's name once, but we also do website hosting, and I didn't know if we ever looked into some sort of economy of scale of just having it hosted on the same platform.
be great to work together on that.
Well, our hosting fees are far more expensive
Mm-hmm.
and on an annual basis.
Right, but if there's the abilities to put it on this, I mean, I understand we're getting a bunch extra, but if, putting, hosting off the same domain, I mean, it's $12 a month, so it's not a huge expense.
If I may, I think that might be mandated through a city contract. I think Jefferson Park HPOZ is allowed to do whatever they want, but if I remember correctly, Anne does the hosting and the security updates and stuff for a number of neighborhood councils. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the reason that sort of divide exists.
Well, we do have we just do have different hosting, but in any case, I understand the nature of that question too. And we could explore, but the most important thing to explore with Anna is, are we even allowed to? They were being very open-minded back in 2022 about what we could fund and the manner in which we can fund it. And it's gotten a little tighter with the new city controller. So that's just what we need to check, Candace.
Yes, so I move that we recommend this to the governing board, and then I will email Anna and have full information by the time we have our meeting next week. Damn, that was fast.
August 7th.
I second.
Okay.
August 7th, 2 weeks.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Okay, do we have a motion to move this forward to the governing board?
Yes.
Do we have a second?
Oh, yes, I move that we. Oh, what do we
I
do?
think we've done it already.
Okay.
Because our police woman's not gonna bother us.
Thank you.
I mean, everybody's disappearing, so we can get through this meeting now.
I won't ask any questions, except for what movie are we showing? Or
I don't know.
that's really important.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of $432 for Jefferson, Friends of Jefferson Park's website in support of the HPOC. I know that's not the right language, but all in favor? Moving on.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Okay, hi Teresa.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I thought the meeting was on Tuesday. And I just want to thank Candace for sending me a text to let me know that it was moved to tonight. So hello, everybody. I'm here on behalf of the UNNC Tree Committee. We are South LA Tree Coalition, and KYCC and LA Sands are working on a project to do a tree planting around the perimeter of the 6th Avenue Elementary School. We're working also with CD10, who will be providing the rentals, tables, chairs, canopies, a wash station. KYCC is getting 45 volunteers. The South LA Tree Coalition is providing a free fruit tree giveaway. So to enhance this event, we are asking the neighborhood council to provide up to $2,000 for a taco truck. Last year, when we did the resource fair at Leslie Shaw, it was $1,500. I reached out to her. They said the day was available because it is October the 18th, the same day as Taste of Soul, but she did not get back to me with an estimate or the required documentation. So I did not list her in particular, just in case we have to go with someone else, but like to get a food truck for the community up to about 200 people. And we're requesting up to $2,000 for this event.
And Teresa's been working really hard to pull all these partners together, and it's gonna be a great event. The only concern I have is the city has some very strict limits on how much per person we can pay for food. So we have to really know that there's 200 people if we're doing $2,000, because $10 is the max per person. And so do you have a sense of how you'll know that we will have 200 people? Because I know that once we enter into a contract for an amount, they're not gonna make fewer tacos, right?
No, but two things I'd like to point out. One, we did not know when we did the resource fair how many community members are going to participate. But the $200, the 200 community members is based on KYCC. They did a similar event partnering with USC at the Vermont Elementary School. And they had about 200 people, a little over 200 people from the community attend that event. Now, they didn't have a food truck. They just provided water and,
Yeah.
I don't think they had any food at all, just to be quite honest. But that's their goal, is to have 200 people. And I think, well, we know we're going to have at least 100 people because the fruit tree giveaways are pre-registration, and we're providing 100 fruit trees. So that's 100. And then KYCC needs 45. They have 45 people volunteering to plant the 31 trees. So it's just an additional 50 people or so to
get to 200.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I have done some math in my mathing here, and this will come out of outreach, right?
Correct.
Okay, so
Well, I mean, if we have money in outreach, it would come out of outreach. We have funds that could go to it from a different pot of money.
the other
special, but I don't know that a taco truck's the right expense for that special fund.
Well, okay, so we can afford to do it because we have the tree. So I have the tree event here is $2,000. The jazz event is an additional $750, and then we just agreed to do the website. So after we fund all of those things, we'll still have $2,315 left. So I think it's fine.
Or any rollovers.
Yes, before
that-
the rollover. So the amount that I gave, the 2,315, is after the tree event, the jazz event, and the HPOZ that we just said we were going to do.
Okay, so
Our
which is
total
to say-
budget and outreach is $5,500.
Right, so that gives us, if we do 2,000 for this, it gives us $300 for any printed materials before we get the rollover that we may wish. Teresa, that's probably enough money. I mean, you, Teresa, have a better handle than the rest of us on what we have in terms of brochures and things like that, printed material to hand out at events. We still have a ton of them?
Oh, we have those trifold brochures. We have several hundred of those. And we also have bags, and this would be an opportunity for us to use our bags. We have, I don't know, a few hundred of the bags also. We probably could use some more tchotchkes if we want to do that, like pens and
What I'm saying is we're about to spend all our money except for 300. And we have, hang on. And we have five events in August and then this, and I'm just wondering.
No. We have $2,315 after the tree event.
Oh.
After, yeah.
After
so it's
the
not
tree
$300, right? No. So we have $5,500 total. We spent so if we spend $2,000 on this event, $750 on the jazz, and $435 that we just approved for. Yeah.
So
yeah. So
you were saying I thought you were saying what we have as a balance would be 2,300 and we could therefore give her 2,000.
No, we
Oh.
have $2,315 after.
Fine. Can I
Yes.
hear a motion to recommend to the governing board that we spend up to $2,000 on this event for a taco truck and any other support it may need for outreach?
Yes. I move that we
You're allowed to just say so moved.
oh yeah, so moved. What Laura said.
Second.
Just because remember, it's recorded. It's recorded
Yes.
3 days.
Sorry. And I know someone has to take notes. So I move that we allot up to $2,000 in support of the tree event in October for a food truck and any other support that we may offer through outreach.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Okay, passes.
All right, great. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you,
I'll keep
Teresa.
you up to date. I'll obviously I'll come and present. Maybe I'll do it on Zoom at the governing board, but I have a feeling that's going to be a really, really festive event. And we're going to have a lot of activities for students, for young people to come out and learn about nature and trees and everything.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah, and just out of curiosity, is the principal of the school cooperating with all of this?
She hasn't returned my call, but she has with LA Sands. So,
Okay.
That's fine.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys. Okay, good night.
All right.
Thanks again, Candace.
Bye.
So
See
you guys
you
have,
soon. Of
yeah, we have
course.
like 11 minutes and yet the entire back page of this. So I want to go through the agenda really, really, really fast now. Do we have any update on the family?
They did not like I just got back. So,
I know
that. Right. So
you can say no.
no is the answer, but I will also reach out to them tomorrow because they said when I reached out them before I left, they said that they were willing to update the application
Yeah, well,
to
they
reflect the
they
word.
just missed another month. If
Yeah.
we didn't have it tonight, we'll just move on.
We'll just move to September.
Yeah, they can't, we can't go straight to board with a new, they have to go through us.
Okay. That's
Okay.
fine.
All right. Flipping the page, we have a whole bunch of upcoming events. UNNC is going to have a booth. The surprise, have a booth at the Night Out on Crime Olympic Police Division on Tuesday, August 5. And we definitely need to staff that. Grace and Kareen are organizing it, but Olympic Division is Western Heights, Angeles Vista, Harvard Heights, West Adams Heights. So, so those of us who are in those neighborhoods should probably be try to be at that event, and not necessarily the whole time. And I don't know anything much more about it than what I just said. I might know something. Yeah, I do have a flyer that I could share. So it's not a big deal. 6 to 8. Our big deal is going to be someone's going to have to get the tent. We have to bring our tent, and it's heavy, and set it up and set up our booth. And then Grace is bringing the table and some chairs, but we're going to have to get somehow, I don't even know how we do this now, get the tent out of storage, haul it over there, set it up. So it's not really just 6 to 8. But anyway, that's that. Stop the share. A week later, also on a Tuesday night in Jefferson Park, we have the Friends of the Jefferson Library movie in Leslie Shaw Park. And again, we're going to have a booth there. And I would think the folks in Jefferson Park are going to be the ones mostly staffing that. And then We have Jazz Under the Stars on Labor Day weekend. It's 3 nights, it's August 29th, 30th, 31st. So I think at the board meeting, we need to get people to sign up for the individual nights. In the recent past, it's been Teresa who's organized who is at what night, but obviously she's not still on the board. And we don't have a replacement for her. So we're gonna just have to kind of work it out at the board meeting itself, I think, with sign-up sheets, because I think the right answer is to have 3 people, 1 each night, to coordinate the table. So we need that kind of commitment. And just like last year, I won't be able to be that person. I mean, I'll be there during setup, but I won't be there at the table.
The table stays for the whole time, so you only really
Correct.
have to set it up that first night,
Well,
and then
the stuff, if you leave the stuff, it gets moist. So you have to you have to at least pack it into something underneath the table. So yes,
we have
the
a bin
table
for
is-
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, you don't leave it out because otherwise it's gonna get dew all over it.
Okay.
So, but it's a really fun event. It's just that we don't have anybody coordinating for us, as far as I know. Unless Teresa does it, but she's trying not to do everything still.
Well, I can set up like an online sign up sheet or something in advance.
Okay, that'd be great.
Okay.
That'd be great. And then we also are gonna need to have, separate from communications, we really gonna have to emphasize at the board meeting, we need an outreach chair. Because it's just too much for one person, Hunter, to do everything, and he's really supposed to be doing more of the social media and not the person who's organizing, who's volunteering for what outreach, in other words, the outreach. Right, so definitely need that person. Storage is gonna be difficult. I'm not even sure at this point in time who has the keys to storage.
That's what I was gonna ask. Where do the
I
keys
don't, and I
live?
don't. Where do the keys live? I mean, and weirdly enough, Dolores keeps telling Teresa that she gave me a key, and I keep showing Teresa the mailbox key, and I keep saying if I also had the storage key, they would be on the same key.
What is that?
I never was given it. I don't have it. Don't want it. So anyway, but we need to get that organized, and obviously we need to reactivate some committees. But I'm moving through this fast. The neighborhood council review, Candace is talking to someone.
Yes,
So I know we're
storage keys.
tabling it for tonight, but we can't table it forever because there's an absolute deadline. The deadline was the end of this month, and we pushed it to be allowed to turn it in on the 10th of August. So we really need to have that on the agenda and done to approve at the governing board meeting.
Oh, is this about the questions?
Yes.
It will be.
Okay, but so best if it was done, like next week if possible, so that some of us have a chance to review it.
To actually read it. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And agenda items for the governing board, we have a lot. So Grace and Corrine and Siobhan, who's still with us, unless things have changed, would like to do a ICE in our neighborhood town hall-ish in the 45 minutes before our 7 o'clock board meeting convenes. So in other words, a pre-meeting. And I wrote an email to the other two, but not Siobhan, but it has to be very focused, but essentially a pre-meeting that goes from 6:15 to 7 o'clock or longer, a little bit longer if we don't have quorum until we get quorum. But it's before we convene our actual meeting on the topic of ICE. And Siobhan, did you and Grace have any opportunity since you were at City Hall to talk about that further?
No, we did not. So, if she and Corrine had a conversation about that, I don't have the results of that, but I can certainly reach out to Grace and find out.
I mean, we need to know if we're going to do this, because we also have been requested to make time, at least 20 minutes, time for presentation from the streets division of the city of LA for a Vision Zero project on Pico Boulevard from Figueroa to Crenshaw, so right through our neighborhood in Pico Boulevard. And they want to / need to, because it's one of their outreach mandates, do that presentation on August 7th. So that would be, so the way this meeting would work is we have a pre-meeting, then we convene, and then I think we just jump right into the presentation about Pico Boulevard, and hoping we have quorum, but it gives us another 20 minutes to gain quorum because it's just another presentation. So we could start, and while, instead of waiting for quorum, but I'm saying, we're all the way up to almost 7:30 without having done one lick of business. So that's a problem, but we're gonna have to do it. And of course, we have election of officers. We can't put it off. The bylaws say July or August. They don't say when you feel like it. So we didn't do it in July, so we have to do it in August. I forgot, Paula forgot, we have a CIS that we forgot to do last month. It was not on the agenda, we didn't do it. We're gonna have the update of whatever happens with the cannabis license. That can be very brief. We have these 2 funding requests. We will not have the family funding request, so that's good, but we'll have the 2 we just did. We will have an update about the park project in Jefferson Park, because we will have had the meeting tomorrow, another meeting with Council District 10, but we'll have that up. It's just a lot of crap. And then the normal stuff. So are we good with the town hall? And I mean, in other words, I don't want to be just putting that on an agenda without other officers knowing that that's coming.
That's totally fair. I wish I had more information for you, Laura. I mean, I went to that meeting, but I went to the meeting at the police commissioner's office, but it didn't really resolve anything. It didn't really tell us anything that we needed to know in order to have that. I know that this is timely. So, and I think putting it off would not be great unless there's nothing to talk about. So let me talk to Grace and to Corinne. I'm happy to talk to them about what specifically they had planned or were thinking for this.
Yeah, what would we be doing? Because what happened is at the end of the last meeting, several board members were kind of upset that we had done just a regular stuff and we never even talked about what was happening with ICE. And I understand that, but I don't know what we would agenda.
Right. I didn't understand the upset either, which is why I wanted to go with Grace and kind of find out more about what her wants.
Siobhan, you were saying that you were gonna harbor fugitives if you had to. I'm just saying. You're more engaged than you're pretending right now.
I'm sorry, what?
You're more engaged in this than you're saying right now. You were very upset at the public safety meeting.
I
mean, you were passionate. I mean, it just, yeah. I mean, in other words, what are we going to do with this meeting? Is it going to be like the meeting we just had? That's what I'm trying to figure out. But you'll talk.
I don't know the answer to that. I'm still wrapping my head around the responsibilities of UNNC to the community and just how involved we as an organization can get. And I don't have an answer to that. I don't know that.
Okay.
Is it possible that because I know there are a lot of organizations that are sharing information about people's rights if they get stopped or anything. Would it be something like that where we would have maybe we're not qualified to be speakers, but a speaker that would maybe help community members address their concerns about what happens if I get stopped, or what are my rights if something happens, or if ICE wants to talk to me, or like what are the things that I could do to navigate that situation? Is that kind of what a town hall would be? I feel like that would be the thing that would be
I mean, so at least from
useful.
my hearing, I don't know that Siobhan's ready to speak on it. I think she just needs to get back with Grace and Karine, and then, you know, maybe if this is something where we can just deal with this asynchronously and then either decide to add it to the pre-meeting before if they're ready to have it.
Right,
Otherwise,
I mean, because that's the thing, we can't, obviously, we can't have an unfocused conversation as a pre-meeting. And we can't take a huge amount of time in the regular meeting on this either, so. Okay. So what I also don't know is if the committee is gonna, this being the Public Safety Committee, is or is not proposing any sort of community impact statement that would be on the regular agenda. And I also don't know if they're proposing any expenditure of our funds to print the kind of outreach materials that you were just in effect describing, Candace. You know, what do you do if you stop? I mean, do we need to print and hand out to our community any materials? Or are those materials already being handed out by other organizations? But that would be more outreach funds that they haven't.
Yes, I think Michael is right. We'll give Siobhan a chance to contact Grace and then maybe get back to you by the end of the week.
That'd be fine. But are you guys okay with us having a pre-meeting if we're gonna do it? If they have something to do?
Yeah, I mean, if there's, you know, if there's an agenda and there's information that we could share with the community, I think we should definitely do it.
All right. Okay, so that means for those who know how to get the computer and the owl and set it up, that's my other question. Would we do that as a hybrid? Meaning, do we have to be completely set up by 6 o'clock? Is a question. Or do we just do that in person? And
I
move it
think
to
that
one-
might be something to decide once we know what the scope of the meeting is and what the information will be.
All right. Okay, because I'm concerned because we don't get started on time as it is with our technology, you know, with all of it. And this really pushes it to much earlier. So. Okay, all right, is there anything else on anybody's? That's it on our agenda, I believe. There's lots of agenda. That is it on our agenda. Okay, so shall we adjourn?
See.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.